Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. You know what we're going to talk about. Now, Trump was kicking around choosing a woman or a black running mate with his people. And they immediately told him they absolutely don't want Tim Scott to be a running mate. They don't want him as VP at all. Now, I find this really hilarious because isn't that the whole premise of him getting engaged? So he would have a wife as vice president. Well, look like I think it's kind of funny. Look like the GOP ain't feeling him at all. They're not feeling Tim Scott. All right, let me share my screen. All right, y'all. Man, look at them socks he got on. I mean, come on, man. Is this what you wear to work? Look at them socks. What are those pink socks with blue polka dots? Not very professional, man. So let's get into this one, ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy, but expected. I mean, we are talking about Republicans, right? Now, they love to bring up how the Klan came from the Democrats, but what they failed to tell you is, during civil rights, all of them switched parties and went to the Republican side. So all those people that were once Dixiecrats and everything, they went to the Republican side. So when they say this, really, they are that same party today that are currently Republican. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I guess they think when they say these things that the people don't know the history, but many of us do know that history. Okay, so why Trump allies don't want Tim Scott as a running mate? Republican Senator Tim Scott wants to be Donald Trump's running mate. After Trump won the New Hampshire primary last week, Scott joined the former president on stage and professed his love for him. And that was so embarrassing. This 50-something-year-old man in front of Donald Trump talking about, I love you. It was so, man, that was so embarrassing. Where's your damn backbone? So anyway, Trump was visibly flattered, but to get on the ticket, Scott will have to surmount to irredeemable MAGA. He's going to have to deal with the MAGA world, y'all. I don't think Tim Scott is ready for prime time on that one. I don't think he's quite ready for that MAGA world because we know what's in that MAGA world. And he won't fare so well in front of them. I'm just saying. He absolutely won't. So, anyway, he voted to certify Joe Biden back in 2020. And that's probably not going to sit well with Donald Trump and the MAGA crowd. As Trump narrows his search for a second in command, some of his staunchest allies are mobilizing against Tim Scott. Sources close to Trump tells Time. So they cited the South Carolina lawmaker was among the dozens of Republican senators who certified the 2020 election on January 6, 2021. There is no constitutional viable means for Congress to overturn an election, Scott said the day before the vote. Scott also defended former President Mike Pence for defying Trump's push to block the transfer of power. Last August, Scott said Pence absolutely did the right thing on January 6th. Yeah, so you can see why they wouldn't like him because these people they seriously don't live in reality anyway. So the internal GOP skirmish is setting up an unusual dynamic as Trump shifts his focus towards the general election. While running mates are traditionally a calculation over who can best help the nominee win and serve as president if necessary. So I guess they don't see Tim Scott as somebody that can step in as a president if something were to happen to Donald Trump. Uh-huh. Trump wants loyalty. Yeah, Trump has always been that way. He wants loyalty, but he shows no loyalty to anybody. He don't. He'll turn on you at the drop of a hat. But then again, he is Esau, right? So it says a source close to Trump. He wants someone who was with him in the tough times when it mattered. The person who exemplifies what Trump does not want is Pence. Yeah, because you know what Pence said, he just lost the election. Trump legitimately lost the election. It was not rigged, and Pence would not go along with it. Scott declined to comment, but a source close to him said he has a strong working relationship with Trump. During the Trump presidency, the two collaborated on passing tax cuts and increased funding for historically Black colleges. Y'all, every president does that. And as a whole, donating to HBCUs does nothing for the Black community as a whole because the vast majority of us are not attending HBCUs. So it's a way of showing support without really giving support to the entire community. More recently, they've been campaigning together. Scott endorsed Trump's days before New Hampshire voters cast ballots. It was a notable act that he did because Trump called out, Nikki Haley appointed you to that Senate seat that you're in, you know, and she appointed him back in 2012. So, that's not very loyal to a person. And she even said she was surprised that he did not endorse her. He's going on what he perceives as the winning team. That's what he's doing. So, other candidates on Trump's short list is New York Rep. Elise Stefanik and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, and Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Her as VP. Oh, man, no. So, anyway, Scott is the only one of them who voted against Trump's wishes on January 6th. Stefanik, who sounds like, I don't know if y'all ever heard this woman talk. She sounds like she's like far out in left field, for real. Stefanik is the only other contender who was in Congress at the time. She was among 147 Republicans who voted against certifying Biden's electoral votes from at least one state. Pundits have also floated the possibility of Trump picking Haley, Namrata, who served in his administration as a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. With Haley, the thinking goes Trump could reach out to independent and moderate voters. If it were me advising him, I would say to look for someone who can inspire some degree of confidence and calm leadership. So this is what John Seaton, a veteran GOP consultant, this is what he said. And this was somebody that worked on McCain's campaign, who Trump absolutely hated. Ooh, he couldn't stand John McCain. That's because John McCain used to drag Donald Trump. And if you remember, when before he died, he told everybody he did not want Trump at his funeral. And he didn't. And Trump didn't even want to fly the flags half mast, because that's how much he detests John McCain at the time. But Haley was frustrated by Trump continuing her campaign after losing the Iowa caucuses and New Hampshire primary. A Trump Haley ticket would also run afoul of America's first adherents, who she, as an establishment figures, all too eager to engage the U.S. in the military adventures overseas. So the former president, elder son, Donald Trump Jr., recently came out and said he would prevent Haley from ever being Trump's VP. Donald Trump Jr. said that. Within the inner circle, the debate has raged on how important it is for Trump's running mate to broaden his support beyond the MAGA base. He needs a great compliment. Another source close to Trump's camp, he also said, I personally think it shouldn't be someone who doesn't need the spotlight. That was Trump's strategy in 2016. Even when he chose Mike Pence, a fiscal, social conservative. All right. And, he was really heavily into Christianity. Mike Pence was. For most of Trump's White House tenure, Pence was dutiful and loyal. That changed on January 6th when Trump pressured Pence to reject the certification of the Electoral College. Since then, the two have been estranged. So, y'all, now they're targeting Tim Scott. The senator's vote on January 6th is not his only transgression. Some in Trump's inner circle have resuscitated his comments in response to Trump saying that there were very fine people on both sides in the clash, as we know, in Charlottesville. Trump, moral authority is compromised. This is what Scott told Vice News back in 2017. There's no question about that. So when Trump made that comment, Tim Scott came out immediately and pretty much rebuked Trump for saying that there were good people on both sides. And we know that was a very white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. So Trump has enjoyed toying the media over his potential VP pick. At a Fox News town hall in Des Moines ahead of the Iowa caucuses, he told moderators he already had a running mate in mind. I can't tell you that, he said, but I know who it's going to be. When he was flying back to New York on his private plane, Trump, Force One, he was scrolling through his phone and laughing at top aides over the speculation he unleashed, according to sources who were with him at the time. So during his New Hampshire victory speech, Trump did ask two potential running mates to give remarks, and that was Vivek, Bad Salami, and Tim Scott. After Trump said Scott must really hate Nikki Haley to endorse him over his own former governor, Scott stepped up to the podium and pierced into Trump's eyes and paused for a dramatic effect and said, "I just love you." That is so weird. It's kind of fawning a spectacle that Trump relish. He's going to cart people out. He's going to make people interested. He's going to get their attention. This is according to Trump's source. So they're saying him picking a VP is going to be like Apprentice 2.0. So, y'all, at the end of the day, Donald Trump is the kind of person that pretty much does whatever the hell he wants. He does. Yeah, I can't get over those socks he got on. I can't get what's that fuchsia with blue polka dots? Anyway, no man should have those socks on. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, Trump, he pretty much does whatever he wants, and he can pick whoever he wants. So we shall see what happens. Tim proposing and then jumping up and saying that he's going to get married this year. It got to be this year. That just says it all. I don't think this man is in the running. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think Trump is going to pick him. He's going to be very disappointed. Very disappointed. Now, can he get a cabinet position? That's possible. It's possible that Donald Trump can appoint him somewhere. You know, that's why Ben Carson has bubbled back up to the surface all of a sudden. We ain't seen uh, Ben Carson in ages. And now, over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking at Ben Carson again. And so we know why he's coming back to the surface. He's trying to get back in Trump's administration again. So we shall see what happens. I think if his people are speaking against this, it's possible they're not even going to consider Tim Scott at all. I look at this. How you doing, LVZ? I look at this and I just don't see it happening, y'all. I'm just saying, I just don't see it. But you certainly can tell me what you think about this whole thing. I mean, if you believe Trump could possibly pick Tim Scott, you can let me know. I'm just saying I ain't feeling that match at all. So, y'all, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you very much. And be on the lookout for my videos. I am uploading some, for my channel members and my patrons. They're getting the videos now. So just let me know what you think about this in the comment section, because it will be interesting to always read your comments. And in all honesty, I just don't think Tim Scott and MAGA really truly mix. That's my opinion. So, everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back at another time with a different topic. Shalom, family.